Thursday, July 4th, and this is Geeknights. Tonight we discuss 3 new arcade games we ran afoul of in Wildwood: Dance Revolution Supernova, House of the Dead 4, and Time Crisis 4.
Let's do this.
And now Scott is back from the beach.
Lethargy is king.
So, how was your drive back from the beach?
It's alright.
Did anything happen?
Yeah.
What happened?
Why do we have to talk about this first?
It's the leader bits, the stuff we talk about before we did the episode.
No, why can't we talk about some other things from the beach first?
Because I already talked about all that yesterday.
You know, I spent a whole day there that you didn't spend.
Yeah, and you know what? In that day, you didn't go to the boardwalk.
Well, yeah, but we did other stuff.
All right, what do you got? You went to the bookstore.
Went to the bookstore.
You laid on the beach.
Lay on the beach a whole lot.
You played some mini golf that Adam won.
Yeah, by 2. Bastard.
3.
No, he won by 2.
3.
I have the scorecard. I'll go look at it again.
All right.
And, yeah.
Oh, that's it.
We ate some good food. And,
Yeah.
you know, that sort of stuff. We watched, what did we watch? We watched Buckaroo Banzai.
Didn't you try to watch some horrible space movie too?
We tried to watch, like, this werewolf versus vampire movie.
So, what came of that?
A couple people there didn't want to watch it, and we had trouble getting... It was black and white-ish, and the TV there shows red instead of black because there's something wrong with the contrast. I don't know. I couldn't fix it, even by adjusting all the color settings and the tint and everything, so we didn't watch it. And that was that. A lot of relaxification going on.
Yep, and then you got another speeding ticket on the way home.
Yep. But see, the other time I got one, it was like, all right, you got me. This time, it was bullshit, and I'm going to fight it. And it's not too far away to go to the court. So I'm going to fight it tooth and nail.
Yep, which is a good thing, at least in the fact that now we're going to have a lot of first-hand coverage of fighting things in traffic court.
I mean, seriously, it's guilty until proven innocent. It's bullshit. And especially since I wasn't going as fast as the guy said I was. And I wasn't real. It's like, usually, if I'm, zipping around, like flooring it and going around cars, because you see a lot of guys doing that. They'll get on your ass, they'll pass you on the right.
It's usually me.
Yeah, they'll go down, they'll dodge between 2 cars, they'll keep going, It's like, if I was doing that and I got pulled over, I'd be like, okay, you got me. If I was just zooming and passing a million cars, they'd be like, okay, you got me. I was just going, just cruising down the highway, the same as everyone else.
However,
and the guy picked on me.
See, the thing is, technically, you're breaking the law anyway, as much as I disagree with the law. And they can just pick who they want to pull over.
Yeah, that's true.
In fact, I remember it's an apocryphal tale, but it's a relevant one nonetheless.
Yeah, what really bothers me, though, is he said I was going 81 when I definitely was not.
There's a decent chance you were at some point.
Probably for like a nanosecond.
That's all he needs.
I know, it's bullshit.
But, I mean, you can't deny that you were, in fact, breaking the law.
Yeah. Especially since I thought it was 65. But the guy was like, do you know the speed limit? And I'm like, 65. And he's like, you're wrong, sir. It's 55 miles an hour. Blah, 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 blah.
Well, you know what? Actually, if it was a 65 and you were still speeding at that rate, you would have been more screwed because fines are all doubled and there's special things if you're in a 65 and speeding in New Jersey.
New Jersey sucks.
Yeah, if you do anything bad in a 65 zone, they just fuck you.
Yeah, I'm going to,
But in regards to why they pick on you, the classic apocryphal tale is a guy gets pulled over. And, he's going 80, and everyone's going 80, and a cop pulls just him over. And while the cop's writing him a ticket, he asks, why'd you pull me over? Why didn't you put everyone else over? And the cop says, you ever been fishing, boy? And the kid says, occasionally. And the cop says, you ever catch all the fish?
And the guy says, nope, but I throw the small ones back.
Yeah, of course, in the real world, the cop says, ha, 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 here's your ticket.
Yep. It was annoying because the guy was such a hard ass. Like... Some cops are nice, and they're like, hey, man, yeah, I caught you. And it's like, all right, goddamn. This guy was like, it was like, I think he was not a cop, but a robot.
See, that's
I think
one thing.
He had like the Miranda lights like scanned into him.
He was RoboCop.
Yeah, he was pretty much like RoboCop without the robot part.
See,
like without the physical robot part.
I don't want to disparage police officers, but with a few exceptions, every cop I've ever talked to
while they were on the job, like if you're hanging out with cops at the bar, they're like, yeah, whatever. But if you're hanging out with cops while they're working, they're just assholes.
Not all of them. I mean,
not all of them.
But I got to say, the only one of the only nice cops I've ever met wasn't actually a cop. He was campus safety at RIT.
Yep.
That cool black guy who came after we were accused of hacking.
Yep. Well, actually, there are also some. If you see cops who are standing on the street, like traffic cops or stand on the corner cops, those guys are usually cool.
Yeah, especially New York City. They're awesome.
It's cops who drive around in cars and pull people over, and and cops who knock on doors to do stuff.
Well,
Those seem to be the asshole cops.
Most of the asshole cops I run into, because I guess my theory here is that I don't do anything
Or maybe
bad.
is it just cops become assholes when they're doing certain things and not doing other things?
Or maybe it's a certain
like if
type of person becomes a cop because
maybe
of various
like
power
if the guy
issues.
pulled me over today, if he was standing on a corner in New York City policing, would he be such an ass?
You know what?
Like if I asked him for directions?
I'd guess probably.
Yeah, it's a tough call. I don't know. We need to do some sort of... See, that's the thing, is that police are so police that you can't really, like, do stuff to them or research them or... Because they'll be all, you know? I'd like to do some sort of studying of police to see what makes them the way they are, and if there's, like, if we could change the attitude of the police, maybe we could change the attitude of, the people. Like, maybe people would like police instead of
Well, there was
them.
a time when people did like police, and that disappeared as we stopped having, regular foot patrols, and police officers became solely a method of revenue collection.
This is racist and stereotypical and untrue. However, I'm going to say that I have a new if I was in charge of the world, I would require that every single police officer be jolly and Irish.
But what if you end up getting the fake jolly Irish, but they're actually corrupt jolly Irish?
I would find out
from the
right
Untouchables.
quick.
No, you wouldn't, because they'd shoot you in the elevator.
Someone else would take over.
And there's no Elliot Ness in the... Well, there was an Elliot Ness in the
Because
real
there
world.
was. He was
And
a
you know
real
what?
person.
Elliot Ness was an asshole.
Yes, he was. Just like the guy who pulled me over.
Yeah, in fact, if you guys... you've all seen the Untouchables out there. And Elliot Ness seems like an awesome guy. And you know what? In that movie, he is. But in the real world, Elliot
Asshole.
Ness is probably one of the worst people. We should have talked about him in Worst Week.
Yeah, well, he wasn't the worst, though.
Yeah, he has done such horrible things.
Yeah,
in
I
my
know, but if
eyes.
you want to find someone worse, just find some crooked cop who, did drugs and shit and mafia stuff.
Yeah.
But, freaking, what was I just going to say? I don't know.
Yeah,
Cops,
but my theory is just that I've noticed that all the cops I've met are assholes, but then again, I don't do anything bad. I do a lot of things that may or may not be illegal in various situations. I'm being not very non-committal because I'm here on the air on the internet. But whenever I run afoul of a cop, it's always a cop who's giving me a hard time. Because the cops that aren't assholes wouldn't give me a hard time about the things I was doing.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that's it. Only the cops with bugs up their butts would bother me.
Yeah, it's like we don't do wrong things. We don't do evil things. We don't do bad things. We don't beat people up. We don't shoot. We don't rob. We don't steal.
Let's rob a bank.
We don't jack cars, And so if we're not doing anything evil, we're only doing things that are illegal but kind of lame, like, using an access point
Or
sitting around town with a computer.
Playing vampire tag in a park at night.
Yeah, stuff like that. We're doing things that are technically illegal, but they're mostly harmless and good-natured, like trespassing somewhere,
In fact,
that's kind of lame.
I was trespassing about 4 hours ago.
See, there you go. Or speeding slightly, or anything like that. So, when a cop pulls you over, only cops who are assholes are going to bother you if you're doing any of those things.
Of course, really, things like that shouldn't be illegal because
That's
then
damn right.
you run into the situation where a lot of people are breaking a law. So a police officer now gets to decide who he's going to pull over, or a government gets to arrest and bother. Like, hypothetical example, I'm not a conspiracy nut. I'm not saying this is happening. Don't quote me on this saying that this is happening. But suppose we have speed limit laws,
possible.
right?
It's possible that it could be happening.
Say you told the police to only go after these license plates for speeding because those guys are, I don't know, liberal sympathizers or
It could happen.
Yeah. In fact, it's very easy for that to happen
And there's not much you can do about it.
because it's perfectly within the law.
Yep.
That's the problem with broad
There really
laws.
needs to be a law that if a law is violated too often and you make a line like a significant portion of the population is violating a law,
Yep.
the law just goes away.
Now, the
period.
thing is, in a
'cause,
democracy, it's already that way. Here's the it is that way.
But we need to actually vote. It requires people to do an extra
not even
effort.
that. It's very simple. All we need to do for everything except traffic law, because traffic law is different, is educate people about jury nullification and the fact that it exists.
Yeah, but that's not a.
I'll point this out, that there's a very specific reason why traffic violations are not handled by jury.
Because they would always be not guilty.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, if all you need on a jury is one person to say, what, I speed, there's no way I'm going to bust this guy's balls for speeding. You could never convict someone of speeding again unless there was something else
because you
going
know
on.
what would happen with a jury? It would be doled out fairly. Someone like me who was just going along with traffic.
Well, I was about to say that.
But some guy who was like, had a rice car would totally get busted.
Well, not just the rice car, because there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
A guy with a rice car going 140 miles an hour in a nun zone or a baby
A
zone.
nun zone. No, the guys going 140 in the nun zone would get off because guys like me would say, yeah, you teach those nuns. It's guys going 140 in the school zone or in the old folks' home
Or
zone.
in the puppies, kittens, and babies zone.
Or in the hospital zone.
Yeah. You know what? Just
The
get
guy who didn't pull over in front of the ambulance zone.
See, I really have a lot of faith in parts of democracy that if everyone was aware of jury nullification and things like traffic violations and everything, if everyone got their right to a trial by jury and the system was set up where there wasn't an incentive to get out of jury duty. I mean, right now, jury duty fucks me. It does nothing but harm me in my life. Now, going on jury duty makes me lose vacation days from work or not get paid.
There needs to be a law that says if you go on jury duty, your company has to pay you what they normally would have paid you for work that day if you would have worked that day.
Yep, but it's really complicated and
And that
stupid.
you can't, and that if you're taken away from your job for more than X days for a jury, then X, Y, and Z and all that jazz.
Well, there's also the problem that juries will not. I mean, while I would want to serve on a jury for ideological reasons, I can guarantee that no lawyer or judge would ever let me anywhere near a jury.
Yep.
I like that story about James Randi.
Yeah, if I got on a jury, if I was at jury duty, I would show up and I would try to get on the juries. I would just answer honestly everything.
See, that's the thing. You'd have to lie to get on the jury.
Yeah.
Because the moment they ask, like, you know what jury nullification is? And
I'd say
yes.
absolutely.
And then they'd say, goodbye. Well, I mean, it's like when those lawyers, as soon as they found out that James Randi...
See, how is it legal for them to make that question a filter?
Well, they can make any question they want a filter.
Yeah, but who decides how to make a fair jury? Where is that decided?
No, you know how that works? I'm not going to get into the details of it, but very simply, the prosecuting lawyer and the defense lawyer sit together and work it out on their own, the two of them. So, like, they both agree, like, all right, you can have that crazy guy if I get this crazy guy. Or, all right, we both agree that this guy will be fair. Stuff like that. There's a whole process where they ask all the jurors questions and then they confer. And
there
then they
should
pick
be
people.
a standard. Like, this is the standard for selecting a fair jury. You do this process, and there's the jury.
Actually, there was a case recently. I was going to make it a thing of the day a while ago, where an old person, a very elderly person,
How old? Like 90?
like late 80s,
Okay.
was acquitted of a crime. I believe it was murder, but really, you don't. I got to look it up, and I'm not going to look it up now. But I think I'll talk about it another day. It just is very relevant since we got on a tangent. She was acquitted because they could not construct a jury of her peers because there were no people who were her peers. There were not enough people old enough and in any way peerish enough, I like a word like that, to serve on a jury for her. And everyone agreed, and she was let off the hook.
We really need, jury of your peers is what the Constitution says, but we really need some laws to further define that, as well as some court precedents, which I'm sure we have, but, we need to really say this is how a jury is selected.
Or, you know what? Go pure math. Make it just a lottery, and no one gets any say except the computer that picks it randomly.
Yeah, something like that, where no other human being can sculpt the jury in any way. Lawyers got it. If given X pool of people, if I follow the process, or if you follow the process, or if a judge follows the process, we should all end up with the same jury. That's what needs to be done. It shouldn't matter who does the jury selecting. The process should be complete in that no matter which pool of people you have to select from, the same jury is always selected.
But anyway, to get off of our tangent.
I'm fighting this no matter what, because it's not as far away as the other one.
Yep.
And it's bigger than the other one, so
I'd fight it if I were you.
Especially since I'm not guilty, unlike last time where I was guilty.
Well, you are guilty. That's the thing.
I'm not guilty of what the ticket says.
Yeah, you might be, though.
No,
because you're not 100% sure, and you can't prove it.
99% sure.
But yet, he has evidence against you.
He does. Could be fake evidence.
Yeah, though you could go. There's a bunch of ways. We'll do a whole show on this someday.
Fuckers.
Yeah. But anyway, in the news, Cambridge University this is old news that people cracked the Great Firewall of China, the thing that prevents Chinese people from getting to anything the Chinese government deems in any way dissident or seditious or bad.
Mm-hmm.
And people broke it a while ago, where you probably don't care about the details, but basically it's trivial to get around it.
Replace the TCP/IP stack. So basically, you run a little program and then you're good.
Which doesn't really matter because the people running the Chinese firewall could see that this was happening and they would just come kill you or something.
They probably just come and punish you in some way.
Yeah,
they probably wouldn't kill you.
Depends on what you were doing.
Yep.
But anyway, Cambridge University broke it one step further, where not only is it trivial to get through it,
But they can't see.
No. You can use the Chinese firewall to attack people.
Really?
The way the Chinese firewall works, I'm only not going over the details because it's not Monday and none of you know or care. At least most of you don't know or care. You can send packets to it that are spoofed, and it'll then ban or block the people you send it from.
Oh.
And things like that. You can trick it into doing bad things to other people.
You can trick it into completely blocking out the internet from other people?
Because it's entirely...
Or from other Chinese people?
Yeah, you can also get it to react to people, and you can do DDoSs. Well, no, DOSs, not DDoSs.
We should send things to the Chinese firewall to basically disable the internet in China so that no one can get on the net, even big companies.
They would be fairly trivial to do. Because
I know, we should do it.
It's entirely... well, because then we'd probably get in trouble with our government.
That's fine. They always talk about how cyber terrorism is real, blah, blah, blah. It's going to happen, blah,
Great,
blah, blah.
so you're advocating we become terrorists.
And it's never happened and it's not real, but here, I can fucking do it.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
It is a great idea.
That's all you. I got nothing to do with it.
All right. I'll do it.
All right.
If I can figure out how.
See, I'll show you the article. Basically, it's stateless, and it just looks for bad contents in individual packets.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, got some news?
Oh, yeah. So... I don't know if everyone knows. Yeah, we're doing all this tech news on Tuesday.
Great.
What do you want? I wasn't here Monday. Apparently...
It's going down the tubes.
Yeah. The Microsoft has this thing called Windows Genuine Advantage.
This is the thing that tries to figure out if your copy of Windows is pirated?
Yes, if you go to Windows Update now, it does this Windows Genuine Advantage thing. And basically what it is if your copy of Windows is genuine... They give you the advantage of actually getting all sorts of updates and patches.
As in, if you don't have this, you're just a waiting target for every worm and virus in the world.
Yes. Or you can somehow get the patches and things some other way besides Windows Update that's not easy.
Also, while they've now denied the rumor, there was a rumor going around for a long time that they were just going to shut everyone down.
Yeah, there was a rumor that they had a kill switch in which... If they detected that your copy of Windows had a pirate key or you didn't pay for your copy of Windows, that they would just make your computer unusable unless you paid the money.
Now,
they have denied that there is a kill switch in XP. They haven't said anything about Vista yet.
Yeah. Also, I mean, it'd be trivial for them to implement that if they really wanted.
Yes. However, Microsoft has said that 80% of all... Okay, because this Windows Genuine Advantage thing doesn't always work. Sometimes you can't get updates even when you paid.
Yeah, so Microsoft will say, oh, you've got a pirated copy even when you don't. Or worse, you've got a legit copy. Someone else generated your CD key on their own, and then Microsoft just flag them both as pirated. And despite what they tell you, there's no way to undo that. Microsoft will not restore you.
Yeah, anyway, you have to fight with them. It's not easy.
Yeah.
A stupid person would just end up paying Microsoft, whereas a smart, nerdy guy would fight a little bit.
Though I've seen a lot of, it's all anecdotal, but a lot of people who this has happened to, and they couldn't get Microsoft to do it.
Yeah, anyway, the point is that 80% of the time that it fails to authorize you, it's pirated. Which means 20% of the time that it fucks up and doesn't let you update, you're perfectly okay. 1 out of 5 times this Windows Genuine Advantage thing screws up, it's a perfectly legitimate non-pirate person.
1 in 5.
That's not 1 in 5 of Windows users, which would be insane. It's 1 in 5 of the times it screws up. It's screwed up.
Well, 1 in 5 of the times it gets something.
Yeah.
What?
So every time, this thing is basically telling Microsoft, someone pirated it, someone pirated Windows, someone pirated Windows. It's only right 4 out of 5 times it says someone pirated Windows. 1 out of 5 times it's wrong and it's really an okay copy of Windows.
So don't roll low. Well, for all of our U.S. listeners, it is Independence Day.
Do 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 do.
It's also Monkey Tuesday.
Do-do-do-do.
Now, I didn't actually write my story for pen just because I didn't have time.
And because your story was made up, and I'm sure there's
Well, no,
going to
he
be some
wanted-
better stories on the show.
Actually, I refined the story, and I think the story's pretty good, but it wasn't enough, and I just didn't feel like sitting down and writing it. I mean, I did last night's show at around 2 in the morning.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But anyway, because it is Independence Day, which for all of you non-U.S. listeners, it is known in America as Blow Shit Up Day. What was
I will
Apu's line?
celebrate the independence of my nation by blowing up a small
small part of it.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and as going along with that, we both have firework-related things of the day. In fact, you know what? I decided right now I have 2 things of the day.
Oh, great.
I got to use the bottle rocket.
You can't resist.
No, I
using
can't
2 things a
resist. It's
day?
just so funny.
I would have 2, but I used my firecrackers the other day.
You could use the other bottle rocket,
No, I'm not gonna use the other bottle rocket.
or you could use the other bottle rocket.
That's no, I don't want that one's no good either.
Anyway, I'll do mine first, but they're all firework related. The first one is my favorite dog ever. Now, I saw this video, and I knew that the video involves fireworks and a dog. And I was worried because I didn't want to see a video of a dog getting hurt by fireworks. And the video starts, there's a Roman candle, and it's just a big Roman candle, and it's shooting its things off. And then this little puppy runs over to it, like as happy as a puppy could ever be, like stumbling over itself. And I thought, this isn't going to be good. And I'm thinking about turning it off, but then the puppy grabs the Roman candle by the side, like a stick, runs off with it, and it keeps shooting. And the puppy, like every time it shoots, the puppy like, but doesn't care. And I think the puppy kind of figured out what was going on, because he's just running around with this thing now, shooting at people with it.
Hey, that's what Roman candles are for.
Like he almost hits one guy. It's
I mean, what do you think
hilarious.
they did back in the days of Rome? They didn't have regular candles. All they had were these freaking things.
Yeah, it was a fucker to read a book with those things.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you really had to be careful not to set the book on fire.
You had to be really quick too. That was the origin of speed reading.
That's why they invented Latin there. You just say, ooh. This. Okay, I got it. Something like that.
Anyway, my second one is, now, this guy's obviously drunk, and everyone involved is drunk. He's decided to shoot a bottle rocket from his anus. As in, take the little stick, stick it in there.
I don't think everyone knows what a bottle rocket is, because it seems like in our childhood we experienced like the end of the days of easy access to fireworks.
Yeah,
and now,
freaking fireworks, the nearest state to us where we can get the good fireworks is Tennessee.
Tennessee.
That is a long ways away.
All right, so let me explain to everyone what a bottle rocket is. A bottle rocket is a stick, a very narrow, round stick. It's about a foot long, I'd say.
Yeah, unless you get the weird ones.
Yeah, it's
Like
about
a standard bottle rocket.
It's a foot long stick. It's really thin and cheap. Like you can just break it, and a baby could break this stick, right?
You buy these things like 100 of them for $10. They're nothing.
Yeah, it's a cheap little tiny stick, and at the top of the stick is a little tuft. And inside the little tuft is pyrotechnic matter.
Propellant, then explosive.
Yes, so, and it has a little fuse coming out of it. So what you usually do with a bottle rocket, the safe way to use one, the recommended way, is to have a tube with
a bottle.
or a bottle with a solid bottom, some sort of circular opening. And you would light the bottle rocket, drop it into the tube or bottle, wait, and after about, a second, when the fuse is done, the propellant shoots the bottle rocket up into the air in some direction, and then it whistles as it goes up. Like,
Well, some do. The cheapest ones don't.
yeah, but you want the ones that whistle. Those are the good ones. They go,
Beep.
and then when they get to the top, they just go snap.
Yeah, like
That's what a bottle rocket does. It goes fly up in the air, snap.
So imagine a firecracker that
And it
gets shot
doesn't
up
really
into the
have a
air.
lot of light. It's mostly a noise. It just kind of goes whistle, crack.
Yeah, I mean the ones that have the full huge light shows are usually, they're not actually rockets. They're more like mortars.
Yeah, people make things that are they're better bottle rockets that go like spiral, spark. But those are not bottle rockets.
Or the
classic
UFOs
sense.
that go up in the air and then set your neighbor's roof on fire.
Yeah.
Or the ones that I can't name because they have a really racist name. But
yeah.
all sorts of old. But anyway, so this guy, they lean him back, and he's laying there with his butt exposed, and he sticks the end of the bottle rocket into his butt.
The wooden end, not the fire end.
Yes, and they're going to light it and launch out. Now, The fact that I've seen more than one video on the internet in the past few days about this exact subject, I have one thing to say. If you ever stick a bottle rocket in your butt, be warned that your butt will probably clench up from having something in it, meaning your butt's holding on to that rocket.
And it's going to go, and it's going to pull with its little splintery woodenness on the insides of your buttocks.
Now, it doesn't in fact move. They light it, and the fire starts coming out of the bottom, and it doesn't move at all.
Which means it's pulling on his butt.
It doesn't move. It's just hitting the guy with fire, and the kid's going, ah, 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 ah. And then he like gets up in a panic and starts running away, and you see the thing still hanging out of there, and then it explodes.
Don't put a bottle rocket in your butt.
Now, the guy was okay, but good God, was that one of the funniest things I've seen on the internet ever.
It's pretty funny. Pretty funny.
Of course, your thing of the day is pretty awesome, so.
Okay, so the bottle rockets, which you just explained for the non-fireworks initiative.
Well, no, I think mine was a bottle rocket.
Yeah, so bottle rockets. Some geniuses, and they are geniuses in the non-sarcastic sense, took 45,000 bottle rockets, approximately 45,000.
Yeah, it was
bottle
actually,
rockets.
he said like 44,000 and something, but it was pretty
No,
much.
there was a different video where they said how many.
All right, there were two videos.
Yes, this video is just the setting off of the bottle rockets.
It was a lot of bottle rockets.
They set up so many of them in this giant array, and they kind of just set it on fire and run. And
it's insane.
It's like if you watch my thing of the day from before with the firecrackers, how it starts off and then it picks up the pace and goes insane. This picks up the pace and goes insane. Now remember how I told you bottle rockets fly up in the air and snap, and then the stick kind of falls to the ground? 45,000 sticks flying around really fast. A lot of them, like faster than any machine gun ever. Well, like Vulcan cannon fast.
Yeah, not as fast as a Metal Storm.
No, not as fast. Maybe as fast as Metal Storm even.
No, Metal Storm shoots more than 1 million rounds in a short amount of time.
Okay.
Metal Storm is...
We're talking like the guns on a fighter jet fast. The guns on a helicopter fast. Like...
I gotta say...
It's insane.
It makes me happy to have the internet because these are the sorts of things that I always wanted to do as a kid, but I didn't have access to the resources to do it. Now
I don't even have to do them because someone else did and I can watch a video.
Yep.
Of course, I might try to beat their record.
So anyway, we were in Wildwood, which, in addition to being an awesome beach and boardwalk to hang out at, it's probably the best arcade we go to on any regular basis in our lives.
Yeah, it's just it's not a lot of competition out there. I mean, the only places to find better arcades these days are at real amusement parks, which always seem to have arcades to get more money out of the tourists, and places like Dave & Buster's, which are super overpriced. And, of course, Japan, but we're talking about the U.S. here.
But anyway, we're there, and there are 3 games we really like to talk about, because while arcades, I don't think, are going to go through a renaissance anytime soon, these games have rekindled my personal interest in going to an arcade and dropping a bunch of money.
Well, really, they haven't rekindled my interest in going to an arcade. They're 3 games I want to play that aren't at home yet.
True.
And they're pretty much, if you look at them, they're really the only franchises still left. I mean, you may not realize this, kiddies, but back in the day, games came out in the arcade first.
In fact, like a game would come out in the arcade and be a big deal, and everyone would go to the arcade to play it.
Yeah, like when Mortal Kombat 2 came out, it was only in the arcade for a long time before you could play it at home. And when you could finally play it at home, it wasn't as good as the arcade version. People would go to the arcade and line up and compete with each other to play Mortal Kombat 2. It was those were the days. Ninja Turtles 2, like the arcade game, was so much better than the NES version. It's just like chocolate and shit when you compare the two. You
see on like old episodes of The Simpsons where Bart's always hanging out in an arcade? It was just like that.
It was really like that.
You would go to the arcade and hang out, and there'd always be like, that guy never loses at Mortal Kombat. And that guy would never lose at Mortal Kombat.
No, because you'd put in 50 cents, he'd win. You would put in 50 cents to fight him. He would win and get more free games and more free games. And if you actually, if no one challenged him, he would beat the game, and get his name on the high score table.
All right, so first let's talk about House of the Dead 4.
Yeah, so House of the Dead is the games that still work in the arcade are obviously games that have peripherals that can't be had at home easily. And, it started out where they would put guns in the arcade, and well, we got the zapper, so that you're done with that. So House of the Dead 4, well, House of the Dead 1 was guns. House of the Dead, I think 3 had the shotgun, right?
Yep. 4 goes into neutral, because I wondered, what are they going to put in House of the Dead 4?
I didn't even know there was going to be a House of the Dead 4.
Yeah, they came out with the Uzi.
Yep. What's better for mowing down a shit ton of zombies
Shotguns.
than an Uzi? Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's not a shotgun because you already made a game with shotguns? Uzis.
The game is, it rekindled the interest in a game that I otherwise wouldn't have cared about.
Yeah, I really didn't enjoy that much the previous House of the Dead games. I mean, I kind of played them, but I wasn't crazy about them. This one is kind of like, it's sort of got a Resident Evil 4 style to it.
Yes, it has very much got this is a zombie world, survive, as opposed to this is a zombie world, kill all the zombies, because there'll be a lot of zombies on the screen at every given time.
But only some of them are actually Scooby-Dooified, where you actually have to shoot them. The rest of them are just there.
You only shoot the ones that are about to get you, and it's really fun, kind of a survivalist game.
Yep, now here's the thing, is that there's a catch, and the reason that this game can't be played easily at home. Number 1 is the Uzi with force feedback and all that good stuff. Number 2, the Uzi has a button towards the front that shoots grenades, kind of like the grenade button in Terminator 2, the arcade gun game. And number 3, if a zombie grabs you, there's a lot of times where something will grab you, or like the boss or a zombie or something. And what you have to do is you just shake the Uzi, and inside of the Uzi is this thing that knows when you're shaking it. And if you shake it quickly enough and in the right direction, you can shake the zombie off of you. If you don't shake it properly, the zombie will hurt you.
Got a Nintendo wrist it.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like, the other thing is that if you put in enough money to play 2-player, where each of you has an Uzi, you can also do 2 Uzi mode, which is one guy with 2 Uzis. It's kind of hard.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of hard to hit the grenade button in that mode, but and it's kind of hard to shake both Uzis if zombies grab, both of them. But it's a lot of fun to use 2 Uzis on one game and just go shooting shit.
Yep. The game's at least seems good enough to where I'm probably going to spend enough money to beat it.
I don't think I'll spend enough money to beat it, but I will gladly play it and put money into it if I am, maybe, like a team up where someone else dies, I continue, I die,
yeah.
Someone else continues.
Now, the second game that we were greatly interested in, but we've been waiting for this, Time Crisis 4.
Yeah, I knew Time Crisis 4 was coming out. It was the only arcade game I knew was coming. And Time Crisis has pretty much been the perennial awesome gun game. And in my opinion, Time Crisis 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the best gun games there are. 2 is probably actually my favorite one.
4 is very good from what little I played it.
Yeah, I played, it wasn't actually the first level. It was like a little bit into the game I played. And it has some new interesting things. First of all, the gun is just as awesome as ever. It's heavy.
Yep.
It has
Though
the
now, built into the game, for anyone who plays it, is a calibration mode, where before you play...
I think it had calibration mode before in the other versions.
Well, this one, it said it, and you could just do it. I never saw it say it before.
Yeah, because it wasn't really needed. But now, if you think your gun is off, you can push some buttons when you start the game as you insert the coins to get to calibration mode to line everything up. And I recommend you do that if you're going to go for beating the game or something like that. You want to make sure you're accurate. Now, it has the same things Time Crisis 3 has, where you have the classic Time Crisis pedal where you let go to hide and you step on it to come out and shoot. And when you're hiding, you reload. And in Time Crisis 3, if you pulled the trigger while you were hiding, you would change weapons. And you had the pistol, the shotgun, the machine gun, and the grenade launcher, as usual. But in this mode, you start out with ammo for all the guns.
Yep, and you seem to get a lot more ammo.
You do get a lot more ammo, so you can use all the different guns at different times.
Which was great, because playing the other Time Crisis, I loved them, but I really almost always just used the pistol.
Yeah, Time Crisis 3 was the only other one to have more than one gun. Well, the other ones had more than one gun, but it wasn't the same.
Yeah.
It was like you get a gun temporarily, and then it's gone.
Yep. See, most of the time, you use the pistol.
Yeah. In Time Crisis 3, when you could actually switch weapons, you still ended up using the pistol a lot. And, using the other weapons kind of helped, but you didn't get that much ammo for them. Now you get plenty of ammo. And there are certain bad guys where, that are better to kill with certain types of ammo. Like, if you're real close to a heavily armored guy, whip out that shotgun real quick.
And it'll flash like best weapon.
It'll flash best weapon when you hit him with the best weapon. And like sometimes there's like a million bugs coming after you as you fall into quicksand.
Yeah.
So you'll use the machine gun to kill a bunch of little bugs and it'll say best weapon, you know. Also, another thing interesting about the game is that you'll have to look around. Like you'll see your screen will be up and you'll see what you can see, but there'll be arrows pointing left and right. If you just point the gun off screen to the right or left, you'll turn and see what's going on to the right or to
So
the
you
left.
got to be aware of your surroundings, and like if you see a guy and you turn away and you're dealing with stuff, that guy's coming up or shooting at you. He's still there.
Yeah, there's guys behind you and to the right and to the left of you where you can't see. So you need to keep looking around. You know, when you kill all the guys on one screen, go look at the other screen. There might be guys there.
I'm worried about the later levels being very difficult with that.
Yeah, I think the game is going to be difficult and relatively long and awesome.
Also, one thing I like is that most of the cutscenes are very short, and it seems like a lot of the plot cutscenes are fully integrated into the game. Like, I'll be running and shooting guys, but there's someone talking at me telling me plot while
Well,
I'm
the
going.
plot seems to be the same as the other time.
Oh yeah, the plot of you're two badass guys, go be badass.
Well, no, the plot happening during the game is about the same amount as the other Time Crisis games. Except for Time Crisis 1, which didn't have much plot. But since Time Crisis 2, the plots have been presented in the same way and been similar in content.
And of course, last and definitely not least, we didn't even realize it was coming out, but DDR 9th Mix appeared.
It's Dance Revolution Supernova.
Now, basically DDR was all but dead to me in that I want to play it at home. I really don't have the opportunity to. But I like more of the old mixes more than the new mixes, and I like the old music more than the new music.
Yeah, we really like 4th Mix and kind of 5th Mix, but 4th Mix Plus was the best DDR machine you could get because it had more of the good songs. It had all the good songs. It was perfect.
Yep, 6th Mix I hated the most because I didn't like anything in it just about.
Yeah, 7th and 8th Mix had some redeeming new songs, but not many. And they had some redeeming old songs, but not many. So they were pretty much average DDRs.
Yep.
They're equivalent to me if it's 7th or 8th.
We'd moved on to In the Groove in Wildwood.
Yeah,
which was,
In the Groove 2 had some advantages and disadvantages.
It had good music, and I thought the arrows were great, but the timing of hitting the arrows is a little different in that there are more levels of perfection, and it seemed like the highest level of hitting an arrow perfectly was a little early compared to DDR.
And also, you had to use the menu to change the settings on In the Groove.
Yeah, the default settings are crap.
The default settings are ass, and it pretty much if you weren't elite master of DDR, then In the Groove isn't for you. It's only for the elite masters.
Honestly, I wouldn't say so much the elite master because I noticed that the default settings are the kinds of things that all the like crazy elite freaks use. Well, and a lot of the normal people use in like 8th Mix and 7th Mix, who, if you set it to normal, they can't dance anymore because they can't deal with the arrows being so clumped together.
Yeah, but normal mode I think is better for the average schmuck walking up on the boardwalk. The acceleration and stuff will just confuse brand new people, but elite masters love that stuff.
True.
It
Well,
was
except
set
the-
up
except
for
the-
In the Groove is set up and created for DDR fanboys by DDR fanboys.
Yeah, except the true elite masters shun anything except 1X.
That is true. Well, at least as far as we care.
Yeah. But, I mean, In the Groove was fun, but it wasn't like we'd play it every now and then, and we didn't really care about it. Now, we saw, and I talked about this yesterday, so I don't need to describe this in great detail, but they must have just come off the boat, like 10 or 11 of these Supernova machines.
There's one place that had 3 machines, 50 cents to play 3 songs.
And also, I mean, they had 3 Supernova machines, and an In the Groove 2, and a 7th Mix in this giant area with like dance lights in the ceiling.
With an air hockey and a Time Crisis 4, so
it's the DDR hangout. It's unbelievably awesome.
it's super crazy cool.
I mean, all of us were playing DDR at the same time.
Yeah, we could have all done doubles at the same time almost.
And I mean, these machines are brand freaking new. It's the newest I've ever touched a DDR machine. The pads were absolutely perfect.
Yeah, the pads were shiny, clean, and flawless.
They lit up perfectly.
Like no one even said, "Oh, the arrow's not working." No one even thought about saying that. They were so new and perfect.
Like the screen, it was a beautiful thing to behold.
Yeah, except for the one that was in the glare of the sun, but the other machines are great.
Yep. And it really made the In the Groove 2 machine and the 7th Mix machine look like ass.
It really did. When there's 3 DDR Supernova machines, the In the Groove 2 machine is like, oh.
Plus, I gotta verify this. Either there is no upgrade to Supernova, or for some reason, no one did that. Because every Supernova machine was a brand new DDR machine. Well, in the past, like all the 8th mixes on the boardwalk and 7th mixes are upgraded 4th mixes, which themselves are upgraded 3rd mixes.
Yeah, people would buy bootleg or legitimate upgrade kits to turn old DDR machines with like 4th mix into new DDR machines with Extreme. And it seemed like everyone was able to upgrade all the machines in the world all the way up to Extreme, because there was a point at which the only machines I ever saw were DDR Extreme, which is 8th.
Yeah, because the bootlegs were very prevalent and cheap.
Yep.
Which was sad because I always missed my 3rd mix Korean. That was 25 cents.
Yeah.
That was like the best
Korean.
machine.
Yeah. But no, all the DDR Supernova machines were DDR Supernova machines from the factories, wherever they are, but, from Japan, in quotes. I don't know where they actually make these things.
And I gotta say, most of the music is new. There is very little of the original music.
I think what it is the if you choose all music mode, right? It actually it's kind of weird because they've brought back the characters, but you don't get to choose the characters. It's sort of random, which I like. But when you turn on the machine, it doesn't just put you to song selection. It puts you into a choice of easy, medium, difficult. What are the other choices?
Like nonstop and all that stuff.
And all music. And if you choose easy mode, it removes all the songs from the song list besides the easy ones. So it's real good for noobs. They pick easy on that screen, then they're all set. But yeah, if you pick all music mode, the first color of songs, because if you go up, you go to the roulette, random, and then to the bottom of the list. The top of the list is all the new stuff. And then there's like the blue section, which is sort of like, the hyper kind of stuff. I mean, 5th mix started that trend where the hyper music was a different color.
Yep.
The higher BPM music. And then under that is like the pink songs. I think they were pink. And those are all the old school, previous mix songs.
But you'd think, we're very, old school and picky.
Yes.
And you'd think, because normally when all the other, like when 6th mix and 7th mix and 8th mix came out, we mostly just complained, like they took out all the good music. And
they did have 6th and 7th mix, and 8th mix did have a lot of old songs brought back, but not enough really, and not the really good ones.
But this new one, it's mostly new music, but all of the new music is really good.
Not all of it,
well, with one exception so far.
Enough of it is actually good.
I only played one bad song, and it wasn't that the song was bad, it's just that I really hated the arrows.
Yeah, we haven't played enough of the songs to really get a perfect percentage, but there were plenty of good songs to be had, whereas the other mixes not as many, maybe 2 or 3. This one, like at maybe 10 good songs.
The other nice thing is the foot ratings, because DDR songs have a foot rating from 1 to 8, and then there's 9 and 10, but they're special. Actually, here's a bit of trivia. I'm just curious if anyone knows this without Googling. In the original versions of DDR, and this went on right up until the end of 3rd mix, there was a name for every number of feet.
Yeah, there was.
Yes. So I can tell you that 9 feet was catastrophic.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone out there know all of them without looking it up? I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Because I still know
they've gotten
them.
rid of that. Now it's just 1 through 10 feet.
Yeah, though they still call things catastrophic and Oni, but that's just people and not the game.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, long time ago, they call everything like beginner or easy, difficult, challenging now. They used to call them something else.
Nah. That's what we still call them.
Yeah. It used to be basic trick maniac?
Trick. That's right, trick mode.
Yeah. No one calls it that anymore.
I call it trick and maniac. I don't call it basic though.
Well, no one plays basic.
I call it easy trick and maniac.
Yeah. If it says a song is 7 feet, it's exactly 7 feet. Like it is exactly the difficulty I would want. And other than one song that was 9 feet, and you know what? It was 9 feet and I failed it. I was happy that I could still do all the difficult songs for the most part, even though they were brand new.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how many feet of difficulty I can still do. I used to be able to do 7 and 8 foot songs. 8 foot songs most of the time and 7 foot songs almost all the time.
Yep.
I think now I can do like 6 foot songs all the time and 7 foot songs most of the time.
Yeah.
So if I rebuild, I think I can get back to where I was.
I think you can.
I just need to play some more. And I was losing interest in DDR, but now for some reason this new version has slightly rekindled the DDR spirit.
We played more DDR on Saturday.
Have we actually said Dance Revolution during this podcast?
I don't think so.
Okay, so
I'll say
if you don't know, DDR is Dance Revolution. It is a game with 4 arrows and you dance on the you dance
You know what?
on the arrows.
I'll retroactively, the opener where we say, it's whatever, this is Geeknights, I'll say the names of the games we talk about.
Okay.
Just because.
All right.
But, yeah, we played more DDR on Saturday than we played in, like, the last year.
That's
combined.
about right, yeah.
And when we go back after Otakon, I'm going to play a lot of freaking DDR.
Oh, I'm probably going to have like a whole half a day to DDR, and then I'm going to beat Time Crisis 4 with a friend.
And I think I have a new favorite song. I mean, Rhythm and Police is my favorite song in DDR.
Yeah, that one's missing. And my favorite song in DDR is Music, which is not
when
in...
the music...
Yeah, that's not in Supernova either. But if that was in Supernova, Supernova would be the best mix, period. Because it would be missing nothing.
Yeah. But, like, Rhythm and Police is my favorite song. And actually, I really miss Shooting Star and Flashdance.
Yeah, but this one had Sexy Planet and 59.
It did. It had 2 versions of Silent Hill.
Yeah, it had pretty good stuff.
But there's a song called Dragon Blade. And on Maniac, that is an awesome freaking song. And I might like it more than I like Rhythm and Police.
Oh, no.
I don't know. I'm going to have to play it a couple times and make sure.
We'll see.
Yeah, I got to play them both side by side before I can determine.
Yeah, the beginning part of that song was pretty good, but then the middle part was kind of
Yeah, well, the thing is, it's what I like about it is that
arrows-wise.
I love the arrows because they're a stream, but they're not an offbeat stream, but they're interesting rhythms, but they're not stupid rhythms like in some of those Max 300s.
There was one song I played where, I forget what song it was. It was sort of samba-y, I think. I don't remember. But... also Wild Rush has made a comeback.
Yeah, I love that song.
But at one point the arrows were like perfect. They were just completely steady, like arrow, 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 arrow. And exactly, they weren't too fast, they weren't too slow. I would just love a DDR song to just continue with that sort of rate of steady arrows just the whole time. It would be perfect. But it was only for a small part of the song.
Yeah, see, I guess I've gotten weird to the point that my favorite songs now are the ones that are really fast with a lot of arrows in the stream. Like, I don't like the tricky stuff with the holds and jumping around so much. But, like, a song like Sakura, I just love that stuff. Just
yeah, see, I hate... There's some stuff that feels stompy, like, like Japan, where it's like dunk, 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 dunk.
Yeah, or jump, reggae.
Yeah. And I like the songs, even though... I could probably do those arrows. It's like the way the music combines with the arrows is sort of like this painful grating kind of thing that like hurts your knees.
Yeah.
But I like the songs, even if they have more arrows, they're like... Yeah,
I like the songs that are just like...
Yeah, like music is like... something like that.
Yep, and it's got that dot section at the beginning and end.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of songs like that have that exact rhythm bit that I really enjoy in this mix.
The hold arrows is still slightly annoying, but not so bad.
Yeah, they're not stupid like they were in some of the 6th and 7th mix songs.
Yeah. I'm still not sure, like the best way to handle them sometimes.
I think I'm used to them now.
Like sometimes I can do them just fine, but sometimes they put them in a weird way, and I'm like, you would have had to know the song in advance or used an accelerator or something to make it right.
Yeah. But like my favorite songs all over are like Dropout, Shooting Star, Era, Rhythm and Police,
Era's
Sakura, Dropout I really like. I said that already.
I like a lot of those, like, what was it, Hypnotic something?
Yeah, Healing Vision.
Not Healing Vision.
I like Healing Vision.
Night in Motion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Actually,
Captain Jack is
any
gone.
Captain Jack song.
Oh, Captain Jack, you are dead.
Yep, and one of my favorite songs that hasn't made a comeback since 8th Mix is Dam Dariam. I love that song. That was the second song I ever passed on Trick.
So?
I like that song a lot.
Yeah, it sounds so good.
First song I ever passed on Maniac was Shooting Star.
Yeah.
Because it's only 7 feet.
Yeah. Well, then what was that other song that made a comeback? I forget. But it's good. I like it.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Oh,
but,
well.
Yeah, we'll probably talk about these a bit after we come back from the week we spend there after Otakon, but...
Yeah, I'll talk about like the plot of Time Crisis 4 and whether it's worth putting in $1 zillion to beat it.
I think I'll count how many zombies I kill. I'll get someone to stand there with a counter or something.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Maybe we could interview people playing these games.
Maybe.
About arcades in these games. I think we're going to have one hell of a couple weeks of shows after Otakon. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, we sure are.
And of course, since some meta news, I talked about all this yesterday, but Scott and I both appeared on Geek Speak.
Mm-hmm.
You can find a link in the forums, and there's a link from yesterday's episode.
I think it's speakgeekspeak.com.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we're on his whole show, and as soon as Anime World Order puts up their next episode, or maybe the one after that, we're on there.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see if we're on there.
We're on there.
Yeah, probably.
If
Most likely we'll be on there this show or the next show they do.
They said we'll be on there. If we're not, I have more choice words.
Oh, choice words.
And check out the promos we made. They're all the feedback I've gotten already. Everyone likes the promo about how promos suck promo more than anything.
Yep. So we'll see. We got to toss these things up on the net and see if anyone plays them.
I put one up on that podcast promo whatever.
Okay, cool.
Already. I figured out how that worked. And I listened to a bunch of promos, and good God. Now, I don't want to I'm not going to name names, but good God, what are you people thinking? No one's going to want to listen to what you do after that.
Well, you know what it really is a podcast promo is a way to get other people who already podcast listeners
You know what's hilarious?
to listen to your podcast instead of or in addition to an existing one. So,
You're basically saying exactly what I said yesterday.
yeah.
I did yesterday's show on promoting podcasts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Good job.
I think we agree 100% on these points.
Okay. Forget it then.
Yeah, but it is true. I mean, all these promos are like, so you already listen to podcasts. Listen to mine.
Mm-hmm.
Every promo sounds like this. I'm going to make mine sound just like this.
You need to promote in other mediums, I think, to get new listeners to listen to you, because if you're the entry point, then you're the king.
And that is exactly what we're going to do at Otakon.
That is what we're going to do.
So, once again, peace out. We'll see you tomorrow when, on Anime Day, I think we're going to review some more anime.
Oh, and I'm going to go catch up on these forums here, which you should join.
Yeah, actually, we had a surge of people join the forums over the weekend. And because I came back early, yesterday I authorized all of you. So, and I saw it looked like some of the email addresses might have been typos or something.
Or might have been Hotmail.
Yeah, so I authorized all of you. We have not denied membership to anyone on the forums yet.
Yep, so if you applied for membership to the Front Row Crew forums and you didn't get an email saying, guess what, you're in, go to frontrowcrew.com, click on discussion forum, and sign in with whatever name and password you picked, and you'll be all set.
In fact, not only have we never denied anyone, but we've only banned one person ever.
Yep. For being very, 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 very annoying.
Yep, and despite that, he was not even a quarter as annoying as some other people I've seen on other forums.
Yeah, and everyone, that means our forum is very enjoyable, and you should come because there are no annoying people there.
Yeah, except for, Scott.
Yeah, right. Or Rim.
Yeah, I haven't been too active in the forums lately. I've been too busy.
Me either. I haven't been here.
Yeah.
All right.
And that was Geeknights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for our opening theme.
Be sure to visit our website at www.frontrowcrew.com. If you like our podcasts, you'll love our forums. Make sure you visit them. You can send your email feedback to geeknights@gmail.com. And if you want, you can leave us a voicemail at 206-333-1537.
Geeknights airs every weeknight, Monday through Thursday.
Geeknights is recorded with absolutely no studio and no audience. But unlike those other talk shows, it's actually recorded at night.